Said I was not connected. No, I'm connected. On and off, on and off. Technology in the country, always exciting. So, how failure supersizes your business. How do you use failure to supersize your business? I was going to talk today about how success and failure supersize your business, and I probably will mention it a little bit. But the reason I say how failure helps you to supersize your business is because, I don't know about you, but I have always learned way more from my failures or things that didn't work or challenges. We talked about challenges and obstacles and things like that and problems and how we react to them and the impact that they have on our business yesterday. If you caught that, it was pretty interesting. If you didn't, go back and try to listen to it, because I think that it shows a bit of a different perspective, a different way of looking at what I call chops, things that we don't necessarily perceive as optimum at the time that they happen, because we think they suck, and they do suck because bad things happen all the time. Our businesses are never going to be this straight line ascent to the top of the mountain. There's always going to be this bumpy ride, this bumpy road. And to be honest, that's what makes building a business so fun and exciting. If it were just we put a sign up, open the door, and people flocked to us, guess what? We wouldn't learn very much. And then when something inevitably did happen, we'd be out of business because we wouldn't have been prepared for the onslaught of challenges and things that are inevitably going to happen whenever we're running a business. Now I'm cleaning my house and moving offices and homes. And as such, it means I'm digging through and I'm finding all kinds of really cool things that I did like years ago. It's really kind of fascinating. I have been writing and talking about and sharing and teaching and coaching on the same stuff for like the last 10 years. And I didn't even really realize that I was doing it until I started finding some of my notebooks and books and readings and coachings and trainings and things that I've done. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm still talking about these same things today. Maybe they're my message. So that's an example of I failed to see the patterns in my own life. And those are the things now that I will springboard and add back into my business to catapult me and help me succeed much more quickly in supersizing the business that I'm currently working on. But it's as I look back over my business experiences, and they have been many. I think I've been involved in at least 27 different businesses and different organizations and different, in corporate America, and then in owning my own businesses. And that's a lot. That's, double what I thought I would. And I thought that's 27 times more than I thought I'd be involved in when I was going to college. I still grew up in the era where they were convincing us that you would go to college, get a good education, go to work for one of the big corporations, and then retire with, a gold watch and an awesome pension. That's how old I am someday. And now 27 jobs, careers, roles later, here I am talking about failure and success, because some of those businesses, some of those careers have been a glowing success. Some of them have just totally gone up in flames, and others I've just chosen to stop participating in for whatever reason. There's always a lot of different reasons. But I ran across something that says, you decide what everything means. It's just a note card, because I have been obviously using note cards for decades as well. And I like to write things down. But what I thought was interesting is, that is so true. We decide what everything means. So I think I want to talk about failure today, thinking that a failure is an obstacle, but it's not. It's just a little challenge or a little speed bump along the road. The only way, and this is so true, that you can fail at anything is if you quit. If you absolutely stop and quit and then never do anything with it again. If you don't learn the lesson, if you didn't learn the lesson that you were supposed to learn from the failure, then yeah, you can chalk it up as a failure if you want to define it as a failure yourself. I personally don't believe in failure at all. I think it is optional, kind of like struggling and hustling, right? I think that struggling is optional, hustling is optional. And I would say in my 20s and 30s, I hustled and ran through my life, even my 40s. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to struggle. I'm not going to hustle. If I'm struggling, I'm probably pushing against and trying to do something that isn't right for me. If I feel like I have to hustle, is that really what I want? Maybe you do for your business. There's a lot of people that are young and ambitious and hustlers. I'm not a hustler. I am who I am, I guess. And that's, again, a choice. That is, I get to decide what everything means. So whenever something comes up, and failure is no exception, I'm going to ask myself questions and say, well, what is this? What really happened? what is the situation, and am I thinking about it? You know, what am I thinking about it? How am I thinking about it? And why am I thinking that way about it? Then I'm going to, you know, take some time and change the location of what happened. If this would have happened somewhere else or at some other time in my life, would it be having the same impact on me that it is now? You know, what if I think of something else? What if I were to look at this differently? What might happen? And then I ask myself, how will I feel about this a year from now? How will I feel about this? You know, sometimes it's 5 minutes from now. I'm one of those people that I pop the cork, is what my family used to tease me with when I was a kid, because I would explode and get all upset about something. And then like 2 minutes later, I would have never even remembered that I was upset about something. And then the other thing I like to ask myself, what if this exact same situation was happening to somebody else I don't know? So you can use this with everything in your life, not just with failures or things that happen or obstacles in your business. Say you get a bad health diagnosis. I got a bad health diagnosis when I was in my 20s, and I could have like shut down and never done anything with my life, but I decided that I was not going to accept that as end of my life sentence. I was going to figure out how to make my life work in spite of that. And one of the things I did was I asked myself, well, what if this exact thing had happened to somebody else? What would they do? And how would they react? And how would I feel about it if it was somebody else and if it wasn't me? And then when I could step outside of that and separate my feelings of, oh, poor me, I actually could see a pathway to get out of and to change what was going on in my life. And you can do the same thing with any kind of obstacle or business failure. And basically, it's all about taking that next step, picking up the pieces and moving forward and keep moving. You can't fail if you keep moving. You can't fail if you don't accept failure. You can't be defeated if you don't accept defeat, right? It works in everything. So go out, make it a fantastic day today. Think about how you react to different things that happen in your life, especially failure. And is it that you've actually had failures in your life? Because most of us really haven't. Or is it just the fear of failure, the anticipation or the worry that you might fail someday that's stopping you from taking the actions that you need to make or you need to do to move you in the direction you want to go? And just supersize your business, because that's what this is all about. I will catch you tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. And don't worry, you can't fail at anything. Bye.